Many of you are in the cars and stuff on your way home, and you can concentrate on getting some fresh information today because we're going to talk with Dr. Elred Taylor, MD. He's a speaker, MD, and specializes in several types of medicine as well as holistic. And many of you in this area believe in holistic medicine. So I wanted to definitely hear from Dr. Taylor. He is out of Atlanta, Georgia, and we are happy to have Dr. Elred Taylor with us. Hey, Dr. Taylor.
Hello, hello. How are you doing?
I am excellent and happy to have you with us as in practicing in obstetrics and gynecology. And you've been around for a while, and I'm happy to know that you've been on deck and on duty offering information that the general public certainly is happy to receive.
Right. Yeah. Well, yes. Well, I'll tell you, I've been around for a while, but my roots are in Nashville, Tennessee. I was born
Oh,
and raised in Nashville, Tennessee.
you
My
are
dad was a
kidding.
Baptist minister there, and my brother-in-law went to Fisk, and I went to Vanderbilt, but I was kind of an honorary Fisk student because I hung out on that wall to check out the Fisk women on most weekends. So I'm really an honorary
Fifth
Fisk
day.
student.
Okay, all righty then. Well, welcome home,
Yeah,
son.
yeah, yeah. So I was surprised when I got this invitation. I'm
I'm
like, well, this is
certain.
like home. But yes, but yeah, I'm from Nashville. I went to Vanderbilt actually
Uh-huh.
for undergrad, and
Oh,
then
did
came
you?
to Atlanta to go to Emory. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, I practiced obstetrics and gynecology like I was taught to do for about 10 years. Actually delivered babies for about 16, but I got interested in holistic medicine when my wife started having issues that were hormonal. I mean, she
Mm-hmm.
had awful PMS and migraines around her
Mm-hmm.
menstrual cycles. And my wife is also a physician. She's actually trained in psychiatry and family practice.
Mm.
And we had patients come in. I had patients come in saying that what I was doing for them wasn't working, and they were using natural bioidentical hormones, or they were
Uh-huh.
using herbs like chasteberries or black cohosh, and it was alleviating their symptoms without the side effects.
Hmm.
And so I decided to take a look at this because actually I thought that how could they know more than I knew? I had gone to all of these schools and
Mm-hmm.
thought I knew everything, and I actually one patient came in and gave me a tape about hormones and natural hormone replacement,
Uh-huh.
and it really changed my entire life. And
Huh.
I started figuring out there's a lot of things that I didn't learn in medical school, because in medical school they're teaching you how to diagnose and treat diseases, but really most people don't have diseases. They just don't function as well as they would like. Either it's
Mm-hmm.
from fatigue, or they can't control their weight, or they have mood swings. And those aren't really diseases like, cancer or diabetes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you look into holistic or functional medicine, where we're trying to help people function as well as they can for as long as they can.
Mm-hmm.
And you do that by replacing in the body what it naturally has used in the past. So that's kind of how we look at it. And we call it holistic, we call it functional medicine, you can call it anti-aging medicine. But what I don't want to do is call it conventional medicine,
Mm-hmm.
because conventional medicine is centered around pharmaceuticals,
Mm-hmm.
and we're more centered around dietary changes, lifestyle changes, and nutraceuticals are supplements that help to supplement what the body may be lacking.
Mm-hmm. Well, and let me ask you this, Dr. Taylor, the holistic style doesn't work on everybody, does it?
No, I mean, believe me, there are times when you need a doctor. If you have a heart attack, you need to go to the doctor. If you have high blood pressure, you may need to go to the doctor. I am not anti-conventional medicine. You need those. But there's a lot of things. There's a difference between being sick and being healthy. So you can be not sick, but also be not healthy. So if you are sick, you need to go to a doctor. If you are looking to improve your health, then you need to go to more of a holistic, because we don't learn how to make people healthy in medical school. We learn how to make people not sick. And there's a big gap between just not sick and being healthy.
Well, talk about that gap, because I think some folks might actually be there and not really realize it.
Right. So let's just take cancer. It doesn't have to be a serious cancer. It could be a cancer that you recover from and live a long time from. So the goal of the cancer specialist is for there to not be any cancer left. But the therapy may have made you cancer-free, but it may have wrecked your body to the point where you can't function. So in that case, you got to bring the body back to health, and you don't do that by drugs, because the body wasn't when you were born. You were 98% of people are healthy when they're born. It wasn't because you were taking drugs in utero. It wasn't because you were using drugs the first 15, 20 years of your life. It's because your body had the resources it needed to repair itself and maintain its health. But through stress, through living, through what we've been exposed to, we dissipate, or we use up all of those resources. And you have to replace those resources either through your diet or through supplements or through IV therapy or herbal therapy or something to help replace that. So, yeah, you're right. Most people, I have a saying that a lot of times there's a lot of frustration between doctor and patient, because you'll go to the doctor with some symptoms and they'll say that you're not sick, but then you'll also know that you're not well or you're not healthy, and both of you guys are right. The doctor is correct in saying you're not sick, and you're also correct with saying that, but I don't feel well. So that's that gap that we're talking about, and I think there's a lot of frustration, and that's why people are looking at holistic medicine or chiropractors or going to the GNC, because they have this miscommunication between the doctor and the patient. The doctor is correct that he can't find any diagnosable disease, but the patient knows that they don't feel healthy and well like they did 5, 10, 15 years ago.
Right. Well, and I was just talking to somebody recently, and they said they kind of felt off balance. Would that be about hormones, maybe?
It could be, yeah. It very well could be. And if they're a female and they're going through that transition, then that's more than likely it. Somewhere between 35 and 55, women go through a whole lot of hormonal changes. And now, with that, we're talking about sex hormones. But then there's another hormone called cortisol that is a stress hormone. And when people have been under stress for a prolonged amount of time, that stress hormone can be excessively high and make it where it's hard for you to sleep and for you to be anxious. But then that hormone, which is generated by this thing called the adrenal gland, you can have something called adrenal fatigue, where cortisol is not at the level where it should be, and you wake up feeling tired, you are listless through the day, and a lot of times what's so crazy about the cortisol imbalances is that a person feels tired, but they're unable to sleep. The reason why is that cortisol mobilizes glucose or sugar so that you have energy during the day. It should be high in the morning and should be low at night so that you have energy when you wake up and you feel like falling asleep at night. When people have been under a lot of stress, their cortisol stays the same low level all the time. So in the morning it's not high enough, and then the evening it's not low enough. So in the morning and during the day you feel tired, but it's not low enough for you to have a deep night's sleep. And if you don't get sleep, it's just going to make the issue worse. It makes it harder and harder for you to recover.
Right.
And there are herbal therapies for that. Most people have heard of ginseng and rhodiola and things like that. Those are things to help with that cortisol curve to give you energy in the morning and to help you to sleep at night. My number one issue with a patient when they come in is that you have to get them to be able to sleep. If they can't sleep, they're never going to recover from whatever imbalance that they have, because that's when your body repairs itself and it fights off cancer cells. It normalizes your blood sugar. It normalizes hormones. It does all of that when you're asleep. And taking sleeping pills doesn't provide you with that same type of sleep. And there's so many people today who have sleep issues.
Yeah. Well, and would this be considered as a sleep issue if you wake up, your clock, mind's clock, body clock, or whatever, wakes you up at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, or is that just a sign of getting older?
No, that is the number one symptom that you have a cortisol problem, that you wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and you can't fall back to sleep. Because what happens is that when you're not in that deep sleep at 2 or 3 o'clock, the slightest little noise will wake you up. If the heating turns on, or the air conditioner turns on, or someone comes in late across the street and slams the car door. So, that is almost always elevated nighttime cortisol. Now, I will tell you that cortisol does increase as you get older, but that can be corrected. And there is a substance called phosphatidylserine. It's a long name, but it helps to lower that nighttime cortisol.
Because I hear more people say that. It's like the clock, it's like they just automatically, 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, just automatically just wake up. And I hear a lot of people.
And most of the time that is after they've been through a stressful time in their life. Because what happens is that you need that energy at night when you're dealing with an aging parent, or you're worried that they're going to call you in the middle of the night or whatever. And so your body clock gets reset to that. And then even after the stress is over, because your body clock is set like that due to the stress, it continues. And you have to do something to reset that body clock, and that's that phosphatidylserine that I told you about. It's in a supplement called Serene Calm that helps with that.
All right, let me remind the audience, my guest today, happy to have on the show, Dr. Elred Taylor. He's a well-known dynamic speaker and expert on holistic, functional, and anti-aging medicine. Also president of the American Functional Medicine Association, a national nonprofit organization which educates healthcare providers and the public on functional holistic medicine. If you have a question for Dr. Taylor, please give us a call at 615-329-8810, 615-329-8810. Are your hormones out of whack today? You have a question about holistic medicine? This is the expert. 615-329-8810. Let's take a time out, and we'll be right back.
What's the 411 with Sharon K?
Want to give your opinion today? The phone lines are open. Give us a call at 329-8810, 329-8810.
What's the 411 with Sharon K is brought to you by Terry W. Jones, independent agent, State Farm Insurance. Life insurance is one of those subjects that makes people want to change the subject rather than admit they probably don't have enough. That's why State Farm agent Terry W. Jones focuses on how the benefits of life insurance actually live on by asking people to think in terms of life without having to sell the house, insurance, or life without having to give up college, insurance. Find out how the benefits of life insurance can live on for your family. Call State Farm agent Terry W. Jones in Nashville at 615-256-6066 or online at terrywjones.net and put the life back in life insurance. and being brought to you by Nashville General Hospital at Meharry. September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Did you know African American men are more likely to develop and die from prostate cancer than any other population? Thanks to Astellas Pharma USA, Nashville General Hospital is pleased to offer no-cost prostate cancer screenings for men over 40. Call 615-391-4227 and make an appointment today. It could save your life. 615-341-4227.
Good afternoon. As we keep you updated with traffic, busy already as traffic lets out of downtown here on the South Loop, the West Loop. Latest drag 6600 block is Charlotte Pike. Also, it's building now on 65 as you make your way south of town, down into Williamson County, Franklin, passing Franklin down into Spring Hill. This traffic report is brought to you by Prince's Hot Chicken, 5814 Nolensville Pike. That's Prince's Hot Chicken. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The Jazzy 88 48-hour radiothon is just around the corner, October 4th through 6th, which kicks off our annual fun drive during the month of October. Be sure not to miss an exciting moment of the live 48-hour radiothon. Make your tax-deductible donation by mail, over the phone, online, or in person. For more information, give us a call at 615-329-8754 or WFSKFM.org.
Keep up with the guests and topics on What's the 411 with Sharon K. Friend us on Facebook and Twitter. Search under Sharon K's 411.
To speak with Sharon or our guest, the phone lines are open. Give us a call at 329-8810, 329-8810. Here again, Sharon K.
All right, to Nashville, Sharon K. is in the house. Mighty glad to be on Jazzy 88 WFSK Historic Fisk University Holistic Treatments, and finding out about your hormones and if you're out of balance and all the things that we go through in our lives. Dr. Elred Taylor is on with us, and we're happy to have him on the phone with us today, and from his office in Atlanta. And you know, it was just good to hear that he has Nashville connections, as in education, family, church, the whole 9 yards. So we're happy to have this connection to you, Dr. Taylor. And, you know, we want to be able to call you sometime from time to time and get the hormone update. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to the phone. Let's see. Let's go to the phone. All right. Thank you for calling. What's on your mind today? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, this is Cynthia, and I'm calling. I'm enjoying the conversation on the hormones because mine are all jacked up. I was pretty much within my weight limit until I had my son at 40. And now I just feel like a balloon, like I'm going to pop. I mean, I have lost 10 pounds here and there, but, you know, is there anything to break up whatever is happening to me so that I can, you know, get back in my clothes? Hormonal, I mean, as far as herb, like you were talking about Serene Calm earlier, which I've already pulled that up, and I'm going to get some of that because my adrenal glands are all jacked up too. So these hormones are something else. So I was just wondering what do you suggest?
Well, so this is you unable to get rid of your baby weight, is that correct?
Yeah, this joke is 13.
Okay.
I mean, I took claim to this baby back because honestly, that's what it is. Because prior to having him at 40, and I'm 53 now, you know, so that's what I'm talking about. Have you gone through the change? Have you gone through menopause? I've been in the change since my mid-30s. My grandmother did the same thing.
Well, here's the deal. I would encourage you to. You could go to my website. It's TaylorMedicalGroup.net, and I have a video there. But here's what's going on. What happens is that you have too much estrogen and not enough of this hormone called progesterone. you hear all this information about women need estrogen, but estrogen is what's causing your weight gain. When you go through menopause, you stop making a hormone called progesterone. And progesterone doesn't cause cancer. It actually prevents the cancer-causing effects of estrogen, but it also helps you to use fat for energy. I tell my patients you cannot diet and exercise your way past a hormone problem. If you have a hormone issue, whether it's cortisol, estrogen, and progesterone, you can eat like a bird and you can work out 24/7, and you won't lose a pound if you have a hormone issue. Now, the best way to diagnose a hormone issue is through saliva testing. You probably realize that your doctor doesn't check your blood for hormone levels because blood doesn't tell you anything, and that's why it's so confusing. 20 years ago, I understood that saliva testing is how you test hormones, and you can easily see the imbalance, and you can correct it. Now, you can correct it with bioidentical hormones, or you can correct it, and I would tell you, initially, if you're having that much of an issue, I would correct it with bioidentical hormones or natural hormones. Now, there are herbs like chasteberries that can increase progesterone. There's black cohosh that can lower your estrogen. But you're right, if your cortisol is screwed up, then it makes it hard to balance anything if your adrenal gland. And so my wife and I have written 2 books. We wrote a book 20 years ago, Are Your Hormones Making You Sick?, talking about salivary testing and using bioidentical progesterone. And then about 5 years later, we realized that if you are under stress or have been under stress, if cortisol is out of balance, that throws the whole system off. And so we wrote another book called The Stress Connection. And that's where we found out about measuring cortisol levels and high nighttime cortisols. So those are 2 books we've written. You can get them from Amazon, or you can get them from our website, TaylorMedicalGroup.net. And the Serene Calm, something you can get from our supplement company, Taylor MD Formulations. But we have plenty of information about that on our website. I have a video of me speaking in Canada that really explains hormones and saliva testing. And I've spent 15 years going around the world trying to tell people about testing hormones through saliva and using bioidentical hormones.
Cynthia, thank you. Hold on, Dr. Taylor. Thank you, Cynthia, for your call, and hopefully you can try some of that. You got some of that information down, right?
I was trying to get his website,
TaylorMedicalGroup.net.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for listening. And Dr. Taylor, let's go back to the phones and remind the audience, this is Dr. Elred Taylor. He is a holistic doctor as well as an expert in his area and has been in obstetrics and gynecology for many years, but we're happy to have him on today to talk about these unbalanced and this hormones, Lord. They just unbalanced. Help me, Lord. I mean, some people, you just feel like that, Linda, is this you? If you have a question or comment, our number is 615-329-8810. Thank you, Linda, for holding. You have a question or comment for us today?
Yes, I heard that. Hello, Dr. Taylor. I heard you speaking about adrenal fatigue, and that just hit a bell in me. I've had that for almost 20 years. And so I'd like to be able to spell and write down your remedy for that.
For adrenal fatigue?
Yes. When you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you can't sleep and you don't get enough sleep.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. How old are you?
I'm 62 now.
You said 52?
61. I'm 61.
61. Okay, and so you feel like you've had adrenal fatigue for a while, correct?
Yes, because I never seem to be at my full energy and my full potential. I've just never felt, fully energized.
Yeah. So the 2 things I recommend for that, there's a supplement called it's Adrenacare Glandular, and it's on my website, TaylorMDFormulations.com, and it has adrenal glandular extract, and it has ginseng and rhodiola. These are all adaptogens to help you better adapt to stress. So it's Adrenacare Glandular is what we use, and you take a couple of those in the morning, and it helps you in the morning. Now, as I said before, if you don't sleep, nothing's going to really help you, have any energy in the morning because you're up all night. And the Serene Calm is phosphatidylserine is in there. It's called Serene Calm. That's also at TaylorMDFormulations.com. And Serene Calm, what it does is that I told you what happens is that you reset your brain. And most of the time, if you're 61, you've been through some stress, probably parents and kids and, finances up and down. And what happens is you have a lot of sleepless nights because you're worrying about things, and then that becomes a permanent kind of issue. So
right.
The phosphatidylserine kind of reboots your brain. It kind of resets it to the default level so that you have that normal cortisol curve where it's high in the morning and low at night. And you take the Serene Calm with your evening meal. So it gives it time to lower that nighttime cortisol, and it usually helps people to sleep through the night. And the great thing about it is that if you reset that clock and you don't do anything that screws it up again, like if you don't have a major stressor come up, usually after 2 to 3 months, you don't really need to take it anymore because you've kind of reset your body clock. And, again, as long as you don't have another big stressful event come up, then you don't need it anymore. If you do, you just take it, again for, a few months and reset it and like that. So that's what you want to do is you want your brain to set that sleep cycle for you, and so where you're not constantly on a medication. So that's something different than from a sleeping pill, because a sleeping pill, you have to, if you don't fix the root of the problem, you have to continue to take it.
Right. Do you have a holistic recommendation for a holistic doctor here in Nashville? I would really love to go to one.
I don't, I've taught courses. People have come to my courses here in Atlanta to talk about what I would have to do, and I can get with the host here, and I can see if I have anyone who's taken my course that's in Nashville presently, and then maybe she can put it on her website, or she has your number. But I'll have to look. I'll have to look at my roster to see if there's anybody in Nashville now who's been to one of my courses.
Yeah, Linda, I think, do we have your number? Do we have it?
Yes, you do. You
do. All right, we can.
And I appreciate you having this doctor on. This has been fabulous. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. And, Dr. Taylor, we're going to have you back. Now,
okay.
Because I didn't even get to any of my hormone questions about myself. I'm just kidding. Because
we can talk later about that.
Well, a lot of stuff that I would be asking you about is stuff I know personally, and also people have shared. That because I know I'm not so unique that things only happen to me only, and that's what makes me a human host. Now, with the work that you do, I didn't think men had off balance hormones. I mean, they have us thinking that it's just us and us alone, and so.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you. I mean, men don't go through that timing. Women, when they stop being reproductive, being able to reproduce, that is a definite shift in hormones. You have two definite shifts in hormones. When you're shifting into your reproductive stage, that's puberty, and teenage girls, they're all over the place when their hormones when they're just starting their cycles. And then when you shift out of your reproductive stage, which is menopause, both of those transitional states are very disruptive to your hormone balance. So no doubt about it, women, they have those two distinct stages where they're really prone to have a hormone imbalance. Men don't necessarily have that, distinct two stages. Yeah, guys do go into puberty. That is a distinct change, and that's probably where you're going to see a lot of, moodiness in guys. But not all men transition out of their reproductive stage.
Right.
Again, stress is a big contributor to men having a testosterone imbalance, and usually low testosterone. Now, not all men have this, but there is such a thing as low testosterone that can cause problems with men. Men with low testosterone have an increased risk of heart attack. They definitely have a decrease in their sexual desire. They increase the amount of fat that they accumulate. So, and then they can also be very moody too. So yeah, they don't take all the blame, but it's not as predictable as it is with women. You know, all women are going to transition out of their reproductive stage if they live long enough. Men, it's more if they stay healthy and aren't succumb to too much stress, then their hormones are pretty much going to stay even most of their lives. Now, of course, as you get older, you know, things are going to decline.
Yeah.
But again, you just don't have those distinct period where women go through menopause, where it's pretty obvious that something is going on with the hot flashes and all the other issues that they're having.
How does holistic, how does being hormones off balance, or the use of or need for holistic medicine, how does that impact, or does it impact a woman that's had a hysterectomy?
Oh, yeah. See, even though a woman has had a hysterectomy and have removed their ovaries, fat tissue makes estrogen. So I hear a lot of women come in, oh, yeah, I don't make any hormones because they've taken out my uterus and my ovaries. But God made it where fat tissue will still make estrogen, so women can still be feminized. But as you know, most of our country is overweight and has too much fat, and so it creates an imbalance. They really have too much estrogen around, and the ovaries are the only place where you can make a significant amount of the hormone called progesterone. So these women can be out of balance even though they don't have any ovaries.
Well, we're going to have to finish that one on the next conversation, Doc.
Yeah, okay.
You know, that impacts a lot of people.
All right.
And this has really been so good to have you with us today on WFSK in Nashville, and to get this information. Now, I know you mentioned several times your website and everything, but I want you to go ahead and give that information again, so our audience that wasn't able to write it down or whatever can go ahead and do that.
Okay. A lot of the information about hormones and videos and posts are on Taylor, Taylor, medical, medical group.net. So it's .net, not .com.
Okay.
TaylorMedicalGroup.net is where you will find, that's my practice website, but it has a lot of information about the things that we do, and salivary testing and progesterone and estrogen. And also you can purchase my book, Are Your Hormones Making You Sick, through that website, and the other book, The Stress Connection. And then the other website we have is Taylor MD Formulations.
Okay.
And these are formulas that my wife and I created to help with these issues, hormone issues, stress-related issues. And that's at TaylorMDFormulations.com. So TaylorMDFormulations.com, and then TaylorMedicalGroup.net.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor, so much. And
Okay.
I look forward
Thank you.
to continuing the conversations with you down the road, okay?
Okay, yes, call me anytime. I'll be happy. And thank you so much for inviting me on your program.
Absolutely. That's Dr. Elred B. Taylor of Atlanta, a proud alum of Vanderbilt and Emory Schools of Medicine, longtime pioneer in his work, and he was